Hey, how's it going? So, take number three at this. Kind of got sidetracked on the last stream. Well, not sidetracked, but my dog wanted to play basically, and so I had to cut a little early. But actually, kind of a good thing that I did because uh, I found some stuff in the meantime that resolved some stuff that I was running into during the last part of the stream. So just to catch you up, basically, I'm in the process of submitting like a minor update to this npm package that I wrote called react-marquease. Essentially, it mimics it's a React component that allows me to easily compose this into React apps and mimics what a HTML marquee element would do. So it basically allows you to wrap whatever elements that you want to have scroll on the page, and then based on that element's dimensions, it will then clone the appropriate number, or like figure out the appropriate number of clones and then make clones of those children, and then scroll it based off of some props configs that you can, or props properties that you can throw on the component, so you can control whether it's forward or reverse and the speed and some other stuff. So actually, at the end of the last stream that I was working on, I realized that one of the reasons why I had not published this package, the basically the original time that I refactored it, is because I was running into issues getting the test running. But I just had a little breakthrough. So let me drop this down real quick. So here I'm in the code. In a classic fashion, I was having some issues getting the test to run, but thank the gods of open source, I found this handy dandy library called JS DOM testing mocks, and it just so happens to have a web animations mock in it, which is awesome. So after pulling that in and then realizing that it needed to have a few little things passed into it to get it to work, because it has some internals that it's making some assumptions off of off of a config, I was able to pass it in the vtest after all and after each. And now my two tests that I have, which are pretty basic tests, it just make sure that it renders, has a snapshot it evaluates against, and then also make sure that based off the content, it creates the appropriate number of clones for for those child elements. So pretty straightforward. And if I transition over here to my terminal, which is actually, is that the right terminal? Oh yeah. Let's see, get status. Got a bunch of non-stage changes here. But I got the build, and then also the tests are running and passing, which weren't happening at the end of the last stream, but much better now. So I think this is actually pretty close. I mean, I think I'm about ready to publish on this bad boy. The one thing I was thinking about doing was I realized that the template that I've been using to publish all of these npm packages that I've been using for the last 8 years is I mean, I've been keeping the dependencies and stuff updated on it, but I guess I hadn't really reevaluated like the rollup config and stuff that I was using. And I know that rollup recently made some updates to the way that they uh some of the config stuff that they have going on. So I have been actually going in and trying to modernize that template that I use to build all this stuff, but I haven't quite backported it to all of the existing projects that were spawned from that template. So I feel like now might be a good time, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's gonna slow things down. I know that the one thing that I do know about this template is it generates the appropriate like common JS, you know, ES modules and has types reference and stuff. Even though you notice that my components actually aren't TypeScript, so I just go in and just make the um, actually let me modernize this just a little bit. Marquee props. Why is it complaining about that? Well, maybe that was bad news. All right, I'm not going to mess with that right now. I do know that this does not cause issues in the projects that's currently using it, but yeah. Actually, let me just throw this thing up here in here too. So if anyone's watching the stream, which no one is right now, I mean it's 12:17 in the AM, and who knows, just trying this stuff out. But that QR code will take you to Spotify and let you join in on the jam that I have going. So listen to some tunes with me and code and do whatever else. So yeah, kind of I don't know. Music makes everything better. I wish I could stream it in the background, but when I did that, YouTube just totally squashed the audio and like muted the video track because they have they're smart like that, and they realize that copyrighted stuff is being played in the background. So this is my little hack maybe around that. I don't know how useful the QR code is. Um, I suppose I can just uh, I guess I can do a comment on YouTube and maybe I can do something below the live stream if people want to, but to listen to the all right, let's see. And I'll do that over on Twitter too. Let's do it in a little comment here. All right, little comment on there. I mean, no one's going to listen to this at 12:19, but I might actually get it done. Third time's a charm, I guess. This is also just kind of a good way for me to test the streaming stuff. I want to try to get better at this and um, really kind of dial it in because I would like to do more interviews and just create spaces for people to be able to jam on this stuff. And um, so this is also, these like solos are going to be kind of like a test of that, just kind of trying to dial in stuff and get my both my local setup and also just like being able to accept or like handle getting people on these too and jamming on. Actually, that actually should be something I should do. Is probably on the next one of these, I'm actually going to kind of like fire it up in Zoom mode, even though it's going to be a solo Zoom. But I think if I do that, sorry, let me adjust the headphones. I'm wondering if I do that, if people happen to hop on and want to jump on actual video and audio, they could like join. They might be able to join that room, and like I could get them on live. So I might try that next time on one of these. But I'm not currently doing that right now, so I don't think that's going to be possible. So this is just going to be a ride along. But yeah. So just to kind of elaborate on what I had said on a previous video, in case no one sees that. So, like I said, the I'll actually show you React Marquee in. Let me get over here in action. So, coming over to my site, um, this is it just running locally. You see this marquee down here. This is actually using React Marquee, and this is using the new version. So when I had originally published the site, I wanted to have a quick way to be able to kind of have this like marquee thing, because I had done it on some client sites previously, but kept running into other ones that were out there that didn't quite behave the way that I wanted them to, nor had like the controls. I'm sure that's changed since I've published this site and since I published this component. But when I had originally written this react-marquease package, the I was actually using request animation frame, which at the time I knew that it felt bad, and I I guess also at the time, like I was like trying to figure out ways of doing web animations, like using the web animations or CSS animations, but I didn't want to commit to a CSS uh, like library or module or have it to be like this is dependent. I didn't want any like external dependencies. I wanted this kind of be like headless ish. There are inline styles that are just used for some basic styling, but you can also pass in stuff. Um, Although I might have to expand that maybe a little bit more to where you could also pass in inline styles. I don't think I'm doing like a spread on those right now. But so as you can see, it's scrolling down there. And so yeah, the original one was using request animation frame. It looked okay. It looked fine on laptops and like more beefy computers, but when it actually rendered on mobile, you could definitely tell it was a little bit chuggy and it wasn't as smooth as what a CSS animation would look like. So in the back of my head, I knew that there was a optimization I wanted to make to this, but never really got around to doing it. And actually, just I think it was last week, I was like, I'm just gonna go in, and also I'm trying to remember like when. At some point, I realized that actually there's the Web Animations API made it into JavaScript back in like March of 2020. And so that allowed me to, one, not have to rely on any sort of like, named animations and stuff being in the CSS. And it gave me control of, pausing and resuming the animations via JavaScript because I knew that I wanted to be able to like pause this on mouse over or pointer hover or whatever. And so, yeah, so again, another I think that what's kind of been amazing is actually I feel like JavaScript's getting so many more APIs that are available, and they're sick. Web animation's one of them. Obviously, the page transition stuff is cool. I haven't really played around with that yet. Need to do that soon. Um, but yeah, so Web Animations API ended up refactoring this to use that. It is much smoother. I'd say the only tricky thing was actually trying to get it to had to do a little bit of math to figure out how to get the relative speed stuff figured out. to where I could basically have a single knob that could turn up and down, but make sure that that would be um, a consistent turn, you know? So if you cranked it up to 1.2, regardless of the length of your children that you have within this component, I would want it to always be the same consistent speed. So I am making a few assumptions regarding that. So it is assuming like a frame rate of 60 FPS. I mean, I actually on this, I think I have a M1, M1 Max, I guess. Yeah, M1 Max. I mean, actually, if this thing's plugged in and it's running Chrome and it's doing some other stuff, like I can get Chrome to actually run at 120 FPS, but um, I don't know. I think at least having a good standard 60 FPS should work well enough. And actually, it doesn't really matter. It's just more of like mimicking the what an offset would be on pixels uh, for basically a uh, pixel span to duration equation. So essentially, what I do is I take the width of the element and I divide that by 60, assuming that uh, you know how many 60 frame intervals would occur over the length of this item or this element, and then map that to seconds or milliseconds, and then basically the speed knob can tweak that by either uh, extending the duration or shrinking the duration, and hopefully that'll be consistent. I guess we'll see when it's out in use. But I do know that I had to tweak the number a bit compared to what it was previously in my site to what it is now. So it's starting to make me think, did I have it wrong previously or is it better now? I think it's okay right now. But yeah, so that's a little background on this. I feel like I'm just like, because I've tried this 3 times, I feel like I'm just rehashing the same old stuff, but who knows? I also know that these things just kind of like go off into the ether, so I might as well explain myself now. And if you catch it, you catch it. And if you catch it twice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guess I got to repeat myself. But yeah, so that's where that's at. Um, I guess I'm going to do a once over on the code and then maybe start branching off and getting this thing in. But actually, speaking of that, I need to see what branch I'm in. Okay, feature CSS image. All right, cool. So I am in a feature branch, so I can go hog wild on all my small commits that I like to do. But I'm just going to check the diff real quick, see where we're at. Oh, you know what? I realize that I don't know if I've pushed this to make sure that I have the latest greatest running on my site as a test. So just using oh, you don't see anything. What's going on here? What is going on? I don't know if anyone is using or has used Ecamm Live. I feel like there's scenes. Can I save this somehow? I don't know. Their scenes seem to somehow default to the wrong things when it's like you're trying to do apps and stuff, and it is kind of annoying because you start bumping around and jumping between scenes and stuff, and you want it to all be right, but I just sometimes I'm afraid I'm either going to expose some stuff or just have blank screens where people can't really follow along. But I guess let's double check this. So I will bump you over to the browser again. I just did a Yelp push and then restarted the site locally, and everything's running and it's pausing. And when I resize, and it's still, scrolling at about the same speed. Ooh, wait. No, it recovered. Yeah, there was a few times actually when I first started writing this where obviously you got resize observers and stuff going on. Um, and sometimes the clones wouldn't always clone right as you're kind of doing these quick quick tests on what's going on. But seems like it's doing okay right now. So yeah, so I think it's okay. Let's see here. Let's go back to the terminal. Here. So I did a few updates to the package, but I mean, really negligible. So I did add that one dependency, but okay. And I upgraded dependencies, I think. So add JS, DOM testing mocks, state dependencies, and add more keywords in package manager. I don't know why I just always have to do thorough throw stuff here. Okay. Did I really edit that? I guess I did. Does it not have props on it now? Hmm. Oh man. Got a late a late viewer. uh if you're watching, this link down over here in the lower right can link you off to some tunes if you wanna jam along. But just trying to make some final commits and gonna publish this package to npm. So if you want to catch up, I did end up resolving some testing issues that I was having because of mocking the web animations API. And now I am going to make all the final commits and then probably ship this thing up and uh, have the version 0.2.0 of react-marquease going. But if you want to follow along. Definitely put on some tunes because I don't think I could just listen to myself without some music in the background. But yeah, gonna get this up. All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna update types. What I do to the build? Just formatting stuff. Oh, that's right. One other thing that I ended up doing with this, because this template's so old, it's like my like core npm or like GitHub package template that I use. I mean, it's been evolved over the years, but it seems like every release I end up kind of going back and modifying some stuff. But yeah, little stuff like if you want to reference, here, I'll go over to code view real quick. Um, I mean, little stuff like this where I think before I had it to where it was like package from package. Well, obviously, it's relative, so package JSON, and then assert. Um, I forget what it exactly was. I guess we could look at the. Uh, we can look at the diff. Yeah, assert type JSON. You know, Node seems to complain about that now. So it's this new funky type of importing the create require and then import meta URL and then require and then the package. And I guess this is like both future and like history proof. So I mean little stuff like that. So in like definitely didn't have an issue in earlier versions of Node um or like npm, but now it does. So now, and we adjust and we adapt and we figure this stuff out. But and actually, yeah, what do we? Is this the live one? Yeah, this. I don't know if y'all are into War on Drugs. This new live album is so good. So if you're listening to the music, which like I said, I advise you to do. This is such good tracks. That's not all I'm listening to, but they're sprinkled through this playlist right now, and it's just amazing. This is a live recording. I mean, it sounds. I mean, all War on Drugs stuff is the production on it's so great, but the fact that they can capture this live is pretty awesome. So let's see here. So that's formatting, and then that I think I did that to another one. Let's just bundle these up. Yeah, I guess might as well update that a little bit. Let's see. I mean, actually, not much has changed to the test other than getting that mock in there, which is good. I guess. I mean, this thing actually needs way more tests, but I will deal with those later. Just want to get it up. Add animations API mocks to test. So yeah, this is the oh man, I have you sitting over here looking at code, and I'm over here jamming in the terminal. So all right. So actually, this kind of yeah breaks down what was changed in this one. You can see here I had this request animation frame tick stuff going on and intervals and yada yada yada. Now it's just like nice. It just says animate. It does the relative speed calculation, defines the transforms and the durations and stuff, and does it. And then just a little effect over here, just basically managing the play and pause calls based off the pause prop. So definitely much nicer. I guess I'm not going to do it in this one, but the one downside to actually both the previous iteration of this and this one is the animation's always running, but I'm definitely going to add like an intersection observer, something or other, to where this thing just shuts down when it's outside of the viewport. Or maybe that's one thing that I always kind of go back and forth on with these components, because technically there is the pause. And if someone wanted to have this pause, they could actually handle toggling that prop based off their own intersection observer. And that's one of those things where it's like I probably should just have like an eco prop. If you turn that thing on, then I'm gonna use the intersection observer, and if not, then it kind of unleashes control to the person who's using this component. But I don't know. I always think about like those little things like that. I could make that kind of assumption, but I think that might not always apply depending on the person who's using it. And I know that if there's something that if I'm looking for a component to use, and it has those little quirks in there, I might not, you know, I just might not use it, or I'll end up writing my own janky one. But yeah, so yeah, you can see this is all the web and animation API stuff. I kind of did a few little tweaks here. So now we're using the clip. Added this ARIA hidden stuff, which I guess I didn't have in the previous one, but totally makes sense for accessibility. There's no reason why a screen reader would want to read the numerous clones. It should just read the one that was passed in, since the duplication of this stuff is just for display purposes. So that's why I added that there, and also added this little data QA scroller thing. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Not being used for any of my tests right now, but maybe used for some tests in the future. And then I also do have another ref here. But actually, is that thing even being used or exposed or sent back? Maybe something to delete. I had to have an intention for it at some point. Oh no, it is being used because that's the element that the animation is being applied to. All right, yeah, we're good. Cool. Well, I mean, I do like deleting code, but that is code that needs to stick around. Cool. So gonna update component. Use web animations API. And update the snapshot. And then what did I add? I'll get you over there too so you can see it. Right along. Oh, I think this is just yeah, some prettier stuff. All right. And then what did I do to read me? I got rid of the default offset since that's really not being used anymore, nor is it accurate. This is really not being applied to the off. Oh, that's right. I did have an. I thought I did. I have an offset. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna update the that readme a little bit. Modify. Yeah, because it's now applied to the offset position as the marquee scrolls. It is. I guess it modifies the duration of web animation. Modifies the duration of web animation. Default one. Modifies the duration of web animation of the web animation as marquee scrolls through the viewport. I guess. I might as well flag that because it is technically the prop that changes. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's fine. Oh yeah, I'm over in the terminal. I'll bring you along. Bring you along for the ride. Date readme. Git push. Sys animation. Okay. Let's see here. All right. I'll bring you over to the browser again. Realize I'm drifting on you over here. So set up the PR, did a little cleanup stuff, some CJS stuff. I guess the real test is this fewer or more lines of code? Ah, I really like when I end up with PRs where the red's like through the roof and there's like, 20 changes. But this will work. All right. So I'm just gonna merge this in. Delete this bad boy. Bring you over to me to the terminal. Let's see here. check out main get pull. All right, so here it goes. Let's see here. npm version minor. It's going to be 0.2.0. All right. So yeah, I probably I need to update. I need to get some GitHub actions in here. handle this deploy stuff. Uh, I just I don't know. I'm so lazy on that stuff sometimes, but at the same time, it can be so nice. Let's see here. All right. I hope I updated everything, like the files and folders and stuff. I double checked that. I did change that one to CJS. That'd be a classic move. Okay. Index CJS. All right. Oh yeah, I didn't take you over to the code. It's just checking the package JSON to make sure with that CJS. I think actually I just had the cleanup script that I updated. I don't think it was. I think it's always been mapped to that for the main. All right. So now the thing is, actually, looks like I need I'll bump this up a few octaves here for you. So like I said, I have this running over on my site. So now that does mean that I can do some updates over here. I'll bring you over to the terminal again. Because right now I have this all wired up via Yelk, so I can test it locally since I actually have a site that's using it. But now I actually want to get this thing updated. All right. What did it do here? This is probably just the Yelk stuff. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, I got some stuff to do. I got some work. Actually, I'll just add this back. And I pulled the 2.0, 0.2.0. Yeah. All right. I'm going to shut this down, bring it back up. Make sure it's not barking about types. Seems like it's okay. And I'll bring it back over to the browser. Do. All right. Refresh. It's working. I mean, actually, I should probably. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to jack my phone in because the real proof is in the performance on mobile, which is pretty awesome. And get yeah, and I am in the marquee op branch. Okay, cool. So Rad. Um, what did I do to site layout? Oh yeah. Oh, this is another hack I was using before I realized that dynamic viewport height was a thing. And actually, this would be a. Oh, yeah, no, I do know this works. Yeah, this was like a weird hack that I had set up. Actually, let me. I realize that you're not looking at the DVH. Can I use? When was DVH introduced? It's the first instance. November 28th. Excuse me. November 28th, 2022. Okay. So yeah, originally when I wrote this site, I'll bring you over to the terminal. So I had this like weird hacky thing where I was using this React device detect thing to see if it was Safari. And then if it was Safari, I'd use the WebKit fill available, which basically allowed the site layout to scale to the full height of the browser, regardless of whether like iOS Safari's Chrome was being displayed or not. Just because the problem with 100 VH is it goes beyond like what's visible, and if your content or site height is like smaller, it's just like unnecessarily cut off. So that was my weird hack. Now I can actually rip all that stuff out and just use 100 DVH. Gonna have to do this to like all the sites that I use this hack on for a while. But I don't know. You live, you learn. I also ended up I was having some weird issues with getting Yelp to update when I was working on this previously. I'm not sure what's going on, but I did end up having a little local version of the marquee in this project, but it's no longer. And I don't think it's still here anymore. Let me just make sure. Oh, it is. It's gone. Later. Cool. Oh, delete temp marquee. Um, and update site layout to use DVH. Okay. And actually, I'm such a. It's like when I had the opportunity, I might as well just do it. I'm going to get all these things updated real quick. Um, yeah, I guess you might see that I'm using NX for my site. I don't know. It's just been my go-to for like basically every project that I end up getting into. I just spin up an NX monorepo, and I mean it's come in really handy because when I spun up this site, it was really just the original site. I thought I was going to maybe port over a lab site that I had from a while ago, but it never ended up doing it. But since then, I've published allplay.fm, which is the site for my podcast. And actually, I'm probably going to spin up like one or two other ones within this repo, maybe. Still kind of debating that. One could be for the site that I want to do for jamsessions.fm. And then there was another one that I was thinking about, but not sure if it should live in here. I mean, definitely the one thing that I like about having NX is I can start creating these libraries that then get shared between the multiple sites within the project, and everything shares the same dependency. And it also means that when I start updating those and I push and publish these changes, all those both sites are getting updated and pushed to Vercel. And oh no, streamline stuff a lot. And but it can lead to like this stuff. Let's see. It can lead to unnecessary things going on here. So like, what's going on? It just can't find it. Let's try again. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Um, let's see here. Hmm. No matching version found. Do I even have that one? I guess I do. Oh, it's behind. Actually, I've never ran into this before. Normally, those things pretty much always follow suit. Am I really even using it? Or is that just something I pulled in? Just, no, I guess it isn't an executor. Huh. Not sure if I need that anymore. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'll bring you over to Cursor. Yeah, that's another thing. I guess I've been using Cursor for, I guess, maybe the last month or month and a half or so. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I mean, I feel like I was doing good enough with just GitHub Copilot. Actually, I feel like the most valuable stuff with the AI stuff is just like reformatting crap that you end up getting. It's like you get like a weird numbers document or something, and then you need to convert that into a CSV, but it's not matching you know, it's not matching like the previous. Well, not to say CSV, but you could export it to a CSV and do other stuff. But when you're just like trying to copy and paste in, just like get things formatted, it's just nice to be able to throw AI at that stuff, do that grunt work. But let's see here. This is a bummer. I guess I'm just not going to update NX. I'll update all the other stuff. That's really the first project I've had where I'll bring you back over to terminal. First project I've had where I wasn't able to those are out of sync. I just wonder if I'm actually using that other NX linter package in any other projects. I'd venture over into those waters, but I don't want to show off any potential client stuff. So trying to keep this somewhat controlled. Yeah, this is another live track. It's so good. I hope you're listening. If not, I'm just talking about music and entertaining myself. I should probably maybe maybe I should probably test this stuff out a little bit. Make sure stuff builds. Oh yeah, that's not a thing right now. It's fine. Cool. Yeah, there's actually an earlier version of the AllPlay site where I was using the transistor API to build it, but didn't realize that they actually were like, I don't think they really want you to do that. I think they really like all their RSS feeds are pretty heavily cached, so they want you to use that instead to kind of get all the information of the site. So I kind of came up with this like transistor client and some other stuff just to kind of like streamline working with the API, but it seemed like a misstep. I guess it was a misstep. So now I'm just using the RSS feed for allplay.fm. All right. Let's see. And back to the site. Make sure everything's still running. Post update. The marquee is still marqueeing. Okay. Well, I like the upgrades. Not like I wasn't surprised. But let's see if there's some other stuff here we can do. That's really just that. All the NX stuff. Oh, I'm good with it. Um, yeah, that's all the stuff I need to commit for that. So get that up. I think this branch is already up there. Looks like it's building. This is what I'm talking about right here. Oh, wait. Oh, man, you're not on the site. Dang it. All right. So, yeah, it's building. I'm just going to do like a quick little gut check. Not to say that there's nothing, it's just a personal site, doesn't matter. But, if you got feature branches, might as well use them. And previews. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Get rid of 4,700 lines of code, then only add 3,000. This is all yarn lock stuff. Um, that good stuff, that good yarn lock stuff. But red. This thing should be done soon. I'm like nervous to go over to the Vercel land. I'll like show off a bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't be showing. Let's patiently wait for this to refresh. Really, my personal website probably builds within, I'd imagine, like a minute, minute and a half. The All Play one's a little bit different because it's going through and it has to go out and fetch the RSS feed and generates all these, like a static page for every episode, like every podcast episode, and then it's going through and generating like the share images dynamically based off of a bunch of stuff. So that one's kind of getting a little bloated. But I mean, it's all sub 10 minutes, which for anyone who's like worked at a company where the release pipeline is like, I don't know, I mean, it always starts out small and then it just grows exponentially. But yeah, I remember sometimes just like waiting like 45 minutes for something to get out, only to realize that you like miss something and then have to painstakingly get that fix back up and through the environments and then just sit behind that 45-minute deploy. And it's just, ah, such a burner. Okay, let's see. Where are the previews coming? I might just have to go in there. It's going to make me go into Vercel. We have to roll the dice on this one. What's it going to show me there? What am I going to see? All right. I'm glad there's only one person watching. Hey, what do we got here? Oh, man. Why is it taking so long? That's not right. That can't be right. I mean, I guess historically, huh, it's getting long in the tooth. There we go. Oh, that's right. Should probably start paying for sell. Only got that one worker. Yeah, you can see this one's like consistently anywhere from like 2 to 4 minutes. I mean, that's still pretty fast. But yeah. So this is local. Yeah, this is like I have this thought section built out, and I actually even did all this like MDX stuff. But I mean, I'm just like so lazy. I just don't. I can't write an article to save my life. But I'll definitely like. I don't know. I mean, I've wanted to do podcast stuff for a while, and now that I'm doing it, it's just way too easy to do a podcast and then fill in the blanks with some notes than it is just to sit down with a clean slate and write some of this stuff. But this is my article talking about streamlining my publishing workflow, which is non-existent, and the stack that I'm using, and also the fact that like content layer is basically, uh, I guess I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it's like no longer supported. At the same time, it's like, what is supported? I mean, I guess maybe if there's like some dependencies that need to be updated, but it works. And I mean, if it works, just use it. I think it's awesome that it's an awesome package. And for anyone who's not familiar with it, basically what it lets you do is dump MDX files within folders, and then you set up all your like kind of like collections, I guess. I forget what they actually name them. Maybe I make reference to it in here. No, this I started putting a bunch of filler filler stuff in here. But no, I mean, I think they probably had a lot of wind in their sails, and then all of a sudden Next both rolled out like native MDX support, and then also the app router stuff. I think maybe probably threw a curveball in some of the stuff that they were doing. I don't know. My site's actually still on the pages router just because it doesn't really require any of the app router stuff. Um, and the app router stuff just even still to this day like still seems like finicky depending on which libraries you're using and when things have to be like thrown to use client versus use server. And I don't know, just just doesn't the juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze, I guess that's what they say, right? But yeah, let's see here. Go back. That one's almost done. So I can at least visit this one real quick. Oh, what's it prompting me? No, dismiss. Um, all right. That looks good. Just to confirm, yeah, that is the preview. I need to get working on these guys, all these guys actually. I mean, I have been working on them, but it's all behind the scenes stuff right now. It's like probably need to throw up some like external facing stuff, but there has been some movement on them. It's a bit of a shell game though, because I feel like the one relies on the other, and then I end up chasing my own tail, trying to get this stuff out. All right, let's go back. All right, we got all plays up, and this is that's the preview. Yeah, a little light on these notes, huh? This one, I was like going into like a fever dream. Just, I really was on something that morning after that run. I had this idea of spiral staircases and how they're built. Uh, so yeah, if you're interested, check that one out. Yeah, it seems like this is all working. So goody good. All right. No, I do actually have this one's just gonna go straight out. Um, ooh. All right, there we are. That's right. We got our tag. We just gotta do our little cleanup stuff, you know? That'll work. No Jesus package except for me. Numbers on it are abysmal, but it works. But yeah, weird packages like this, contentful parsers. I should probably double check and make sure that there's no one's posted an issue on it, but 40,000 installs a month. Oh, wait, that's not it. What is that? Oh, product hunt. Why is that there? Oh, there's open pull request. It's just like the bot. Yeah, 40,000 installs. I don't think this thing's ever had like an issue posed against it. That's not even like monthly. These are just like random updates. It's just weird stuff like that can just live out there. Um, I mean, it's rad. It's just doing its thing. But yeah, I need to do some, I need to go back to the drawing board on that template and start running through this stuff. The one thing I did do, um, and a few of these packages have been converted over to it is like I said, I have this like, these various roll up templates that I start all of my new stuff on. And now I'm actually going back to some of the old projects and using those templates as like the upstreams and then pulling down updates into those and kind of doing all the merge conflict stuff. And even though it's not 100%, it does at least reduce a lot of kind of just like some, well, not a lot, but it reduces some grunt work about keeping all this stuff updated where I can kind of go back and adjust some of the core template stuff and then I'll reapply it to these packages kind of quickly. Um, but yeah. Oh, and then if no one's familiar, well, not to say no one, I think there's only one person watched this thing. I'm surprised they're still watching. I probably would have ejected a while. I can't believe it's 122. Um, I probably should get to bed. Gotta take the kids to school in the morning. But yeah, it's just package stats. This actually is one of those classic side projects where I wanted to figure out a way of like quickly looking at all of my packages I was maintaining so I could figure out which ones to apply focus to like depending on which ones were kind of getting like actual use. But then once I wrote the page, I was like, I can actually just do this for like all of npm, which is just like sick. So I don't I need to update this landing page because like right now it just does like a React query. But yeah, you can go in here, any user. So like oh yeah, what's it? Bitmap. Where's he at? Cabe. Oh, did he change his name? Oh, that's right. He's Bitmap on GitHub. Couldn't get it on npm. It's so sick. It's my buddy Cabe. Uh, so rad. Let's see how he has a. It's like a use intersection observer hook, React hook in view. Yeah, he's doing good. 38,000 this month. Um, but yeah, I started making this for my thing for myself, and then it just kind of started having a little thing of its own. But I need to get it off of. Right now, it's actually on like Heroku. It's like this weird old hybrid Express Next.js abomination. Need to just get it and just make it pure Next and do some stuff with it. But for another day. And actually, I'm probably going to wrap it up here. Maybe let me look at the tracks here, see if there's one I want to go out on. Really wish I could just play music in the video stream. Yeah, see, you can see my Spotify. Even though I think this thing's supposed to be locked to. Oh no, why does it keep doing this? The show gets like unpinned from Arc, and then we'll just go over to show all. So you're just seeing everything. Full open kimono or whatever they call it. Um, Actually, this would be an okay song to go out on. It's been a while since I listened to this one. This reminds me of like driving, kind of like early fall, late nights along the coast of Lake Erie, for whatever reason. Back when I was in Ohio. I finally got my dog to be chill down here. All right. Um, Normally he's just at the door. You're okay, bud. Cool. All right. Well, I actually did it. Like I said, third time's a charm. And, it only took an hour and 15 minutes of streaming, but job is done. Cool. So, hope this was somewhat interesting for the person who was on. I wish I could see comments. I feel like I did a live stream with Daniel Colburn for the first kind of jam sessions. Um, I feel like we were seeing comments from Twitter, but for whatever reason, um, that wasn't really working, or they're not coming through now. I'm not sure what the magic unlock is within Ecamm Live to get those working. But actually, I might try this just for a second. I posted that link as a comment on YouTube, but I can add it to the broadcast. I'm just not sure what Ecamm does with this thing, so I'm just going to try it out. Oh, wild. Okay. All right. So there is a. Huh, does everyone see that? Oh, then remove for broadcast. Add to broadcast, remove. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, still figuring this stuff out. I feel like I was looking at OBS and also was like looking at some of the browser based stuff like Riverside. But here, you don't need to keep looking at package stats. I'll look you in the eye. Yeah, I was like checking out, trying to play with OBS, but I felt like some of the stuff I was trying to do, it required me to then have these like weird iframed windows of like restream in order to do like multiple streams to connected services and stuff. And then I was looking into Riverside FM. Actually, that was the original one that I was looking in, but for whatever reason, and it's not like I'm on a sluggish machine. It seems so glitchy and kind of like um, audio and video would kind of like pause and freeze intermittently while I was trying to even just like record locally. And then it seemed, I don't even think I ever got to doing a testing on a live stream via Riverside FM, but wasn't feeling that. Then happened to come across Ecamm, and I feel like I mean, it's definitely more on the OBS side of things. So, depending on what you're looking at, but I also feel like it's like stripped down and dumb enough to where it's easy to configure the multiple streaming, the multiple streaming, I guess it's not really providers, but the multiple streams that you want to go out to. Configuring the scenes are really easy. Um, it seems like a slightly more intuitive than OBS, but maybe it's just more of a get used to it. The Zoom integration actually worked out really good with that live stream with Daniel. So if you want to check that out, it's both on the podcast feed as audio over at jamsessions.fm, and then there's also a YouTube video. That one, I definitely was. I think I started the stream early, and then I did some stuff to my audio because I didn't want it to be like live and people to be like hearing me like rustling around or whatever. But then in doing that, I messed something up. So like the first 13 minutes of that stream kind of wasn't the greatest. There's some like echoes and stuff. And I know people have, some people are really sensitive to that kind of stuff when they're listening back to it. So kind of bonked that one for at least the first 13 minutes. But I mean, it's a solid hour and almost like a half. Um, so if you're into Laravel and you're interested in event sourcing and verbs, definitely go back and check that one out. That was with Daniel Colborn. That was a couple weeks back. I want to try to do some more interview stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I actually might reach out to Dave Rupert. I know he's working over at Microsoft now. It'd be cool to catch up with him again. There's actually going to start working on a few web components for transmits, just because I think that's probably like the most like openly adaptable format to use for components. But we'll see. I know there's been a lot of talk about web components lately, so I need to do a little research and make sure I'm making the right decision going that route. But I mean, it was like 8 years ago. I was definitely into the web component stuff, also alongside while I was working on React stuff. But between client and personal project stuff, React just kind of ended up taking over. But that was also pretty early. That was like during the Polymer days and some of the other stuff in the web component space where native browser support was really only in Chrome, and then you had to have a bunch of polyfills and other stuff to get to work in other browsers, and it was a little bit flaky. But yeah, I need to get back into that stuff. And Dave would be an awesome person to talk to. And like I said, I haven't talked to him in a while, so who knows? Maybe see if I can get him on, and we'll see how it goes. But man, I'm almost a 130 in. Did have a successful npm package publish and figured out that testing issue that I was running into prior to. So I say pretty good for a little jammer, solo jam. But all right, with that, on this war on drugs track, I'll bid you adieu. Hopefully this is interesting for the one person who is hanging in there. And I'll catch you later. Have a great one.